A group of army-backed soldiers in Niger have seized power and say that they have overthrown the country's democratically elected president.
And the president's own guards reportedly seized him, citing poor national security and a struggling economy. An official from Niger's Air Force announced the takeover in this televised address yesterday, saying officers were closing the country's borders and establishing a curfew.
Niger is a key security ally for the U.S. in the region, as neighboring West African countries have faced coups and the threat of Islamic insurgencies. I want to bring in Ebenezer Obadare. He is a senior fellow for Africa Studies at the Council on Foreign Relations. Good to have you with us. So Secretary of State Antony Blinken was in Niger back in March, and he called the nation a model of democracy. We're just fast forwarding by a few months. How did we get to this point?
Well, thank you for having me. One of the things that Secretary Blinken wanted to get across was American commitment to what he called the 4Ds: diplomacy, democracy, development, and defense. And the United States has been committing a lot of resources to that. But part of the problem is that you're dealing with a country that is extremely poor, that has very serious economic challenges, a high number of refugees and internally displaced people. And if you are looking at things from that perspective, something resembling what has just happened in the country was always in the offing. So I'm by no means surprised that this has taken place.
What's interesting is a U.S. State Department report from just a few years ago found the country suffered from some of the things that you're citing and some of the things that I guess the military folks who've taken over are complaining about. They have a small defensive force. There's ineffective coordination among security forces there, as well as budget shortfalls and general instability. Considering this is an ally for the U.S. as it tries to combat ISIS offshoots and other terrorist groups, how might this hamper anti-terrorism efforts overall in West Africa?
Not just that. If you are a long-term student of democracy in the region, if you are fearful, as many African experts are, about the increasing influence of Wagner Group and Moscow in the region,
right,
this does not bode well at all. And one of the things that Secretary Blinken did, when he visited Niamey in March, was to give his word to President Bazoum and to the people of Niger to say, we're committed to supporting democracy and development in the country. I think the ball is back in the U.S. court now. And I think people are wondering whether the United States will actually put its money where its mouth is.
Well, I think that for the U.S. audience, there isn't necessarily a lot of understanding. I think even the fact that the U.S. has a sizable military presence there, more than 1,000 U.S. troops are actually stationed there. What is the status for U.S. troops now? Might they be called upon to intervene in this coup?
So that's a great question. Two reactions to that. One is that the troops are stationed in Agadez. Then the capital of Niger is in Niamey. Agadez to Niamey is a distance of, give or take, 650 miles, about 1,000 kilometers. Wow. So it's a 3-hour plane ride. It's not that easy to get to. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, what are American troops doing there? The Central Sahel, comprising Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, South Sudan. This is an area that has been dealing with a lot of difficulty and adversity emanating from attacks by ISIS and its affiliates. And one of the main reasons why the United States is in that region is, one, to provide support for soldiers, for the armed forces within those countries, to provide military training for them, but at the same time to make sure that they are ready to combat the Islamic State and its allies. So the United States is not primarily in Niger to help prevent coups d'etat. It's in Niger to make sure that the whole of the Central Sahel does not fall into the hands of the Islamic State.
All right, Ebenezer Obadare, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Ebenezer.
Thank you for having me.